Good afternoon to all viewers and listeners out there. It is another beautiful Tuesday here on Better Future Production on your most interesting, educative, and interactive Inside UTG show. So today with me, as you can all see, we have another Iron Lady, a lady so staunch onto what she does as a person. And she is someone no other than a leader that we have at the university, someone who has been trusted by the students to also steer their affairs. So with me is someone who is going to take us through a tour of what we currently have as the Vice Chancellor's football tournament that is currently ongoing in the university. We've had the first two rounds, that is week 1 and week 2, and we'll be heading towards the other rounds. So before we go deep into the occasion, can you please kindly introduce yourself to the listeners out there?
Thank you, Mr. Simon, for that wonderful introduction. I go by the name Mrs. Ajara Samba, the current sports minister of the University of the Gambia Students' Union.
Amazing. So this is Honorable Ajara Samba, the sports minister of the UTG Students Union, a lady who is always keen in breaking the barrier when it comes to leadership and also the gap between men and women. So Ajara, before we go deep into the issue, what motivated you to move into student leadership at first?
Thank you, Simon. I can say that have been a leader since when I was young because I love to be taking a leadership position. Okay. So I engage myself into sports. Then, be it a sports personnel, you must try to be a leader, obviously, which fascinated me to go for this position as the sports minister of the University of the Gambia Students' Union. Okay. So another thing that motivated me is since I've been in the university, I've not seen sports growing that much. So I said that yes, I can do it, and I think that I will be able to make a change. That's also one of the things that motivated me to go in for these positions.
Obviously. Yeah. So Ajara is a firm lover and believer of sports, and as he says, she's somebody who's always into sports. And the second reason why she also joined the limelight towards leadership is to make sure that sports in UTG also is developed, because we understand that universities all around the world are not only focused on academics, but then they look into things that also can be used to develop the students in the particular vicinity. And this circles from academic down to sports and other things that we can do. And Ajara, as the sports minister, wants to make sure that sports in UTG is diversified and also developed. So what is the person behind you trying to make sure that you develop sports into UTG? Is it because you just want to make sure that Gambians are into sports, or you have your own reasons that you want to use for that?
Well, Gambians are into sports, but not all. Right. Most especially ladies. Okay. So I participated in this thing because I want also the university students, ladies, to make sure that they engage themselves in sports. Okay. So if you look at the sporting activities in the university, I can say that it's diversified. If you look at it, it's only the male side that is much considered when it comes to sports. If you look at the previous ministers that were there, though we have one of the former ministers who was a lady, who is Veronique Malak, but I can say that she was not much concentrated when it comes to the female aspect of the sports. So if you look at also other sports ministers, they were all concentrated towards the male aspect and not only engaging the female in the sporting activities. Okay. So I, for one, want to make sure that ladies in the university, but you have some other people also, and also the disabled also, to make sure that they participated in the sporting activities of the university. To make sure, even if it is not 50%, at least it will be 60-40. Because I know that if I started right now, other people who are coming in as sports ministers will take it off from where I stopped. Okay. Yeah.
So at least if it is not 50-50, it is going to be 60-40. So more or less, she's trying to make sure that she empowers ladies into sports. I mean, she's a footballer, I believe.
Yes,
she plays football, and then she is a very interested guy who also wants to make sure that ladies in UTG are also exposed to sports. So part of your activities as a ministry within the 28th Executive Council of UTG-SU is a customary organization of what we call as the Vice Chancellor's football tournament. So what can you tell us about that particular tournament?
Well, as we all know, it is one of the biggest sporting activities when it comes to the University of the Gambia, apart from the sports day. because if you look at the VC tournament, it's involve all the faculties under the university, all the schools under the university. We have 12 different schools, so all are participating in the VC tournament. So it's like a league form, like a league form group into 3 different groups. So it has started, as you mentioned. First and second round has gone, so we can come in, we engage in ourselves in the 3rd round, and then we take a break till after the Ramadan, then we continue. So as it is named as the VC tournament, the Vice Chancellor's tournament, one of the biggest tournaments in the university, we are not only engaging boys in this tournament for the first time. The ladies are going to participate.
Oh, really?
As I said, we have just few people that engage themselves in sports when it comes to ladies. So what we decided to do is, if we come up to the quarterfinals, then we will bring in ladies. Even if it's going to be 6 aside, then they will come in. Because I know that it will be very difficult for some schools to have about 18 or 20 players.
Right.
Yes. So just to engage them, for the first time, at least if we can have 6 from each school, maybe a maximum of 10 players, then if we can have it as 6 aside tournament. So that it will be in a sort of knocked out. So like if we have the 2 finalists, then as we were doing it before, normally the VC tournament, the finals are played in the on the sports day. So the ladies will play first, and then we have the male final. So yeah.
All right. So this is the first time that you want to integrate female football into the VC tournament, I believe, or was it there before?
No. It has never been there as a tournament. But in the previous sports day, normally we just form 2 teams, which I have been participating in. We form a team from Kanifing and then also from Birkama. So we play before the main final of the.
So like Siradli says, it is the Vice Chancellor's football tournament that is always annually organized by the University of the Gambia Students' Union under the domain of the Sports Ministry. And then this is an occasion that is placed in a time whereby all students within the university from different faculties are also given the chance to be able to expose their sportsmanship skills. I mean, what they can do in the field in regards to football. But again, we understand the fact that there are other activities in football, in sports, just apart from football. I mean, you have things like volleyball, basketball, table tennis, and other things. So, is there any other plan to integrate other activities into it apart from just football?
Yeah, sure. In January, the basketball team of the university participated in a sort of like a knockout team, which was the first time. So like we have a basketball team that we formed, and then we pay for them to take part in one of these tournaments that is organized regional. But it was just like a warm-up thing for them, so that at least we can see those with talent when it comes to basketball, and then we can gather them, nurture them, to make sure that at least the university have a basketball team, just like it has a football team, because we have a male football team that is supposed to play comes Thursday in the 3rd division qualifiers. So that was something that we have done for the basketball team. And also immediately we are done with the first round of the VC tournament, we are going to have a basketball tournament also. Just like how the VC tournament is, all schools will be involved, and then it will be in a form of a knockout.
So I think that is the place where people like me would have to step in, because I know I remember when we went to the Students' Week, we had a Kunda football competition. I played for my Kunda, but the first minutes I entered, I got an injury. So it was quite serious. But then I know basketball, I mean, those of you who cannot play football, there's also a chance for you to expose yourself when it comes to basketball as well. But then whatever you do or whatever you organize as a leader, there's always a motivation behind it. There is always a reason why you want to empower sports in UTG. I mean, if you look at the trajectory in which sports have been in UTG, I remember last year, there was a VC tournament. I have witnessed most of the games. And I remember also, year before last, when Sosa also went to the finals, I watched the game. But then, looking at all the activities, I think the way in which this year you want to diversify the activities is quite spectacular. So what is the motivation behind you trying to make sure that all schools are collaboratively working to make sure that this particular tournament becomes a success?
Well, as I mentioned to students when I was giving them my manifesto, I told them that it's going to be a different. One thing that is going to make the VC tournament different is one we have started because the certificates are already printed.
Right.
Every match we will have a man of the match that will be awarded to individuals. So that is a way of motivating students to make sure that they perform very well. And also in that way, they can even be selected to be part of the university third division team. Another thing is we are going to have at the end of the tournament the coach of the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to award that coach also. Another thing also will be like if you look at the previous tournament, it is only the winners that are awarded.
Yeah.
And this time we are trying to make sure that both the winner, first runner-up and second runner-up, are given something.
Okay.
Yeah, which will also motivate other sports ministers that are coming in to make sure that these things continues.
Okay.
We are going to have a leading goal scorer award at the end of the tournament, the best goalkeeper, and then also the best player of the tournament. All those things we're going to award them.
Interesting. I'm feeling that I should have joined my school's team to at least to get some of these awards that you're talking about. I mean, it is not just about exposing yourselves out there, but again, you're going to be given a lifetime document that will also be able to serve as, should I say, a document that is going to serve as a reference that you have taken part in the Vice Chancellor's football tournament. And that is why it is crucial that all those people who are taking part in the tournament are also able to make sure that they help the council, they help the ministry to be able to organize this occasion without any difficulties. So we've talked about the rationale behind, the motivations behind, that you want to promote women empowerment when it comes to football. You want to diversify UTG in also like in how sports is also done. So the VC tournament, as it has already kicked off in the past 2 weeks, from your experience and how you observe the tournament, what do you think will be the outcome of this tournament?
It's going to be a successful one, as we already seen. We have seen how students are like excited. One is you, because I've been seeing all your comments when it comes to this VC tournament. Because the way the balloting was done, it was surprising, and it surprised many. Because if you see Group A, you have seen teams that people were not expecting to perform very well, and then we have seen the outcome. Because it's sports, and then like results are always surprising. Because you can think that like a smaller team can beat a big team, and then at the end we see it different. You see, so the way that the VC tournament is going, it's very organized, to be honest with you. Because under my ministry, I am making sure that like I motivate those people that are working under me. Because one thing that I do is every weekend, any person who is commissioning a game, after the game, we give you transportation. And also, I make sure that before the game, credit is sent to you for communication to make things to be very easy. So that's the way of motivating my ministry. So if you look at the organizing committee, if those people are motivated, the information that we are discussing in-house, they will filter it to their different schools. Because how we form our ministry is like we take different sport ministers from all schools and then bring it in. So any information that we have inside, they will filter it out to their schools, which makes things very easy. You see, so all those things are way of motivation. Motivation. Yes. Right. So another thing is like we make sure that all teams come on time when it comes to their games that where they're supposed to play. Because whatever we are doing, we make sure that we discuss it together to make things very easy and
okay. Amazing. So it is not just the process of managing, but again the process of being a leader. I mean, if you have people who worked on you, there's always a need to motivate them in what they do. And as he rightly says, he makes sure that all those working on the hack committee are motivated. And that serves as an incentive for them to also be able to do their work responsibly. So as an organizer of the tournament, what message would you want to send to the coaches, the footballers, and also all those other people who want to support their schools towards the success of this tournament?
One thing that they all need to know is like sports bring in people together. No matter what results you get after each game, you know that that was the best for you. So there should be no thing that will just separate schools from each other. Make sure that after game we just shake hand and then move on. Because sports is something that brings in people together, both male, female, old and the young together. Because if you look at this tournament, it is, I think it was, I don't know when it has started, but like it's a way of bringing schools together. It's a way of motivating students to be part of sporting activities, not only the VC tournament, but even other tournaments, even other sporting activities. Because it's not only football that we are engaging ourselves in. We have basketball, volleyball, athletics. Because we have currently seen the students we introduced table tennis. We have seen swimming. All those things are in our action plan, because we will organize so many sporting activities like swimming competition, marathon, volleyball, and many more things. So what I am advising coaches to do is to make sure that they did not cause any viral problem between them and then other school, but just to bring in everybody in one umbrella.
Alright, so she's saying that sports is a way to bring us in unison, to unite us as one family, because we are all in the same university. I mean, if you look at the barricade of the UTG, even though we are in different campuses, it is us that have to be seen as equal. And whether you were doing journalism, or you were studying law, or you were studying political science, we are still UTG students. And sport is meant to glue the relationship that we all possessed. And that is why she's saying that all coaches out there, all footballers, and whoever wants to support your team, make sure you also serve as a peacemaker, in the sense that you do not break the rules that are also established by the committee that organizes the tournament. So that is a concept behind the visit tournament. But then, footballers also will expect, because once you organize a tournament, they expect something out of it. I mean, you've talked about the issue that you're going to give them certificates as well. But then, what awaits the winners of this Vice Chancellor's tournament?
Well, I think we don't know to, I do not need to say that as of now, but I know that there is a big surprise for the winner.
A big surprise?
A big surprise. Because previously they were only giving trophies. Yes. And then this time I am planning to get the 2 finalists jerseys on that day.
Amazing.
Make sure they wear it. So that is one thing. So something else will come on top of that. So I do not need to say that.
So something
that
else
will be
will
a surprise.
I see.
Yeah, sure.
So as is said before, that it is going to be a ministry with difference, and then she rightly says that there is a big thing, a big surprise that is there awaiting the winners of the Vice Chancellor. I believe last year was won by, was it Isa?
Yeah.
It was won by Isa. Year before last, it was a trophy for Sosa, I believe. Yeah. And then this year, BPA comes with the title, reclaiming the title.
Yeah.
And I also hear from the IPR of Sosa that they also want to reclaim the title. And again, Asa would want to maintain the title. So 2 want to reclaim, but others want to maintain. So this is going to be an interesting tournament we're going to have out there. And we want to make sure all sport lovers, and even those who don't even love sport, this could be a chance to fall in love with sports. You don't need a wife to, to love sport. You just have to be a guy who opens up the heart to see the beauty of sports itself. And we do hope that you're going to join the committee and your teams to make sure that this event becomes a successful tournament organized by the sports ministry. So before we wrap up from there, as a minister who leads an entire committee and who also works under a council, what message would you want to send to the council that works with you, and to the committee that works with you, and to people out there who also love sport and would want to sponsor or give support to your ministry in making sure that this event becomes a landmark success? Well,
first I will start congratulating my my president, that is Mr. Lagami Guman. Under his leadership, that's why all this is happening, because we want to make a change. And then he is helping and other council members. You are one of them, because we are seeing the viral alert that you are doing. So I am saying a big thank you to you and all other committee members. Also, most especially my assistant, Samper Mendy. So I am saying a big thank you to all committee members, and also those people outside. When they sponsored the university, it's not me, it's not the committee, it's the university in general, and also the Gambia in general. Because someone who is willing to support sports, it means that he or she is doing a lot. See, you're seeing how sports it is in the Gambia. So I am urging anyone who can help, not my ministry, but the university at large, he or she is highly welcome, because only Ajara or the council itself cannot do everything. So if you have any other person that can help us, he or she is highly welcome.
Okay, so there is a message from the sports minister of the UTGSU, Honorable Ajara Samba. So in as much as you are a sports lover and you want to support sports, the doors are open for you to also make sure that you help in empowering those young minds who also want to excel into sports. I mean, countries all around the world, being universities or colleges or national levels, they use sports as a way to empower their youths, as a way to also promote what they can do. And the Gambia should not be an exception to that. UTG is also trying to lead the way to make sure that sports becomes an all-inclusive endeavor for both men and women. And that's we are saying that if you're out there and you want to support sports, we're highly appreciating your efforts towards making sure that we are able to also build that gap or the barrier that has been established in our societal perspectives as to what sport is. So before we take a leave of you, what is your final words to the viewers out there?
My final words is to make sure that we all engage ourselves in sports, because if you are sportive, you have health, and if you have health, you have everything. Okay. That's it.
And that would remind me. I asked you what is your final word, but then since you're talking about your final words, what has sport given you?
Sport has given me so many things. That is like it has exposed me to the outside world. I've been to so many countries. Okay. Yeah. I am physically fit, which is like I am healthy, I can say, because of sports. Okay. Yeah. So let's engage ourselves in sports. It's important.
Let's engage ourselves into sports because it is important. I've been exposed to the entire world and I am physically fit. I think that is something I also have to learn from, because most of them I easily fall sick. And I think if I go into the football field, it could be a way to find out.
Well, I am not saying that if you engage yourself in sports, you're not going to get sick. But at least it's good.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So if you're just viewing, this was the Inside UTG show on Better Future Production that comes your way every Tuesday from the hours of 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then today with us was the Honorable Minister Ajara Samba, the Sports Minister of UTGSU, who is also leading an entire committee in organizing what we call as the Vice Chancellor's Football Tournament, a tournament that is meant to unite, glue, and bond students together to make sure that unity becomes the food that every UTG student will eat before going to bed. And that is why we're saying that to all coaches out there, to sports ministers in other schools, we're saying put your hands on deck and make sure that this becomes a successful event in the history of UTG. So I was your host, Siman Lo, the Information Minister of UTG SU, and bye till another week, inshallah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.